Hey, how we doing, traders? And welcome to the SPACs attack. Let's do it. Hey, how we doing, traders? Welcome to the SPACs attack, baby. Hey, the market's moving fast here, so I'm gonna get right to the market. But before we get to the market, wanted to give a shout out, guys. One of the things is, I wasn't able to do this yesterday, but I want to give a shout out to the Mamba forever, you guys. One of the things that Mamba really that Kobe Bryant really stood for, guys, is a constant quest to be the best version of oneself. So wanted to give a shout out to him and a shout out to everyone that's working hard to improve your own skills. So definitely, if you're on that quest to be the best version of yourself, keep working at it and give a shout out there. So let's go ahead and bring my man Chris in. What's up, Chrissy?
Hey, how's it going? Right out there in SPAC land today.
Well, I mean, it's a story of the overall market. This has nothing to do with SPACs, Chris. And this is when we got to be careful, guys. We're seeing market move down significantly, and I got to keep an eye on it right here, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, I can tell you guys, I'm keeping an eye on it right now. My positions are moving up and down right now. I had a point where I could have closed Rocket for an above 30% gainer, but wasn't paying attention because I was doing some work. And you see this topping action here we're seeing right now on the SPY. Definitely not what I like to see, guys. It looking like it wants to come back and test at 376. So I'm keeping an eye out on some positions. If you guys see me disappear, it might be because I got to close a position. But let's get right into some headlines. I know Chris has some headlines, so let's get into our headlines and take us back, Chris.
Yeah, not a ton of headlines to get to today. So up first we have Northern Genesis. So this is NGA, of course, merging with Lion Electric. They reached a reseller agreement with Flow yesterday for smart charging software. So the company now has numerous reselling deals for charging infrastructure with Flow, Blink Charging, and ChargePoint. So that's definitely something worth watching. I pointed this out before. I think Lion Electric is positioning themselves well. I own shares of NGA. We, of course, had the leaders on our show. Those reselling agreements, I think, are going to be key as they can now sell to schools and municipalities, sell their vehicles and also sell that charging infrastructure, which is going to be so important going forward. So keep an eye on NGA. Want to note that SPAC King Chamath Palihapitiya, of course, in the news yesterday a lot. He bought calls of GameStop, one of the hottest stocks out there right now. And he also announced plans to run for governor of California, putting out a recall for Gavin Newsom and also, starting a website with some of his policies. So it's unknown at this point if he's looking to run in 2022 or if this is only if Gavin Newsom's recalled. But he's gotten very political and, posted about this before. So we're going to follow this as, it could impact how many SPACs he issues and deals he gets done going forward. But want to note that he will be on CNBC at 12:30 today on the halftime report. Last time he was on there, he did announce that deal for IPOE with SoFi. I don't expect him to announce deals for IPOD or IPOF today. I, of course, own shares of IPOD. But I will know, I think the conversation is going to lean heavy on GameStop, and also that possible move in California. But he did just have those two pipe deals announced recently. So keep an eye out for those as he may, add to some discussion on why he did those, as he has not been on CNBC since those deals were announced. So keep an eye out on Chamath stocks later. Then we do have a couple of rumors that we are following. So FCAC, this is Falcon Capital. So they're in talks to take digital health company ShareCare public. Full disclosure, I own shares of FCAC. I also bought shares of Remark Holdings, symbol MARK. So Remark Holdings owns around 5% of ShareCare. So if that deal gets done, of course, Remark would either own a stake in the new business or they would get a buyout as part of the SPAC deal. So again, this is just a rumor. I like ShareCare, digital health, using artificial intelligence, and one of the focuses that they've been working on lately is working with sports stadiums to certify them. So as we move past the pandemic, one of the things is going to be getting people back to concerts and sports events, and people are going to want to go places where those venues are safe, as far as sanitization, checking and making sure people don't test positive, and have the vaccine. And ShareCare is one of the companies that is working on certifying venues, so I think that's an area to watch if this deal does get done. So that was FCAC. Our other rumor is ACAC. So this is AC's acquisition. They're in talks to take game developer Play Studios public. So this one was a rumor brought by Bloomberg. I got to say, I think it gets done here, though. So MGM Resorts is an investor in Play Studios. And of course, worth noting, the ACAC SPAC is led by the former MGM Resorts CEO, Jim Murren. So of course there is a connection there, between MGM and the SPAC, which, strong interest then in Play Studios. We've seen game developers and mobile game companies, be hot this year with several IPOs and deals. So keep an eye out on this one as well. And I also want to throw out a couple to watch based on the current market trends. So up first, we have SPCE. So this is, of course, is former SPAC Virgin Galactic. I own shares of SPCE, and shares are ripping higher today. Have to note that this is one that is heavily shorted, which has been a area of interest for some of those investment groups, finding stocks that have heavy shorts on their floats. So SPCE up 25% right now. So keep an eye on this one. They, of course, have some catalyst upcoming with those flights, but right now it looks like all the momentum is coming from that short interest. And then ARK Funds, Kathy Wood held a conference yesterday talking about some of the top ideas going forward. It's a 121-page document. I haven't gone through the full thing yet, but some of the areas I pulled out, she talked about digital payments and digital wallets. She actually highlighted SoFi on one of the slides, which of course is going public, POE, one of Shamath's SPACs. And then also NPA, so that company talking about 5G from space. That was an area of focus of hers. She talked about satellites and connections in space to help with, communications and mobile networks down here. So I think NPA is one that could get added to her space ETF, but also possibly one of the larger ETFs going forward. And she talked about that space industry. So we're, of course, watching SPCE and SRAC, which I also own. But I'll be bringing you more on some SPACs to watch based off of what Kathy Wood had to say yesterday. Our big movers yesterday were BTNB. This is the second SPAC from Bridgetown, up 30%. That's a newer one. NBAC, up 27%. That is a charging infrastructure play. TPGY, up 21%. That is another charging infrastructure play. And CLII up 12%, also a charging infrastructure play, hitting an all-time high yesterday. And then on our calendar, we of course have one vote set for this week with NOVS, that merger vote set for Friday for App Harvest, an indoor farming company. Otherwise, our calendar turns to next week with a couple votes on the way. So that's what I've got today, Mitch.
All right, all right. Yeah, guys. So you guys see, there's definitely some movement that's happening over here in the market overall. So let's get into our watch list, see what's moving, and then we'll get into some of the middle segment where we can talk about some new ones, maybe some ones to potentially look out for. So let's go ahead and get into our watch list here. Uh, All right, guys. So definitely taking a look here. At least it looks like the SPY is starting to level off a little bit here. Let's see if it gets down through this 378 while we're on Let's go ahead and continue moving forward here. So one of the ones that, hey guys, I'm going to take a look at right off the back is the one that I missed. The reason I missed this one, I got a little worried the other day when it was coming back down, and I would be definitely in the green here now. So definitely FSR got the support of the Biden talk, and then we're going to look at this on the 5-minute chart. I was actually in this one right here, guys, and on this downturn, I had to get out. One of the things is you don't expect a stock to rip out through the open, get up to a nice level, and then come down below that level. So that's what got me a little bit worried out. I got stopped out somewhere right over here in this 39.40s. That's where I had my stop placed, and I got pushed out of it. And then yesterday you saw what? It recovered above 15. And what I said to myself was, watch it today. See if it could hold 15. If it could hold 15 today and get some volume, maybe that swing there could really get it right back above here and get it back up there to that $16 level that you saw breakout yesterday. So then what you get here at the open, guys, you get here at 9:30. What did it do? It dipped right here to 1487, but immediately recovered and closed at 1521, guys. So it closed above, then opened a big green candle, and then you guys can see it now from that 11 o'clock point. Definitely getting piled in there, now up there to the 1680s. This would have been one that I would have been at like around 28%, 30% now, and probably looking to cover through this 17 price point. But where could Fisker go, guys? Let's look at the daily chart, because it's not only about me, guys, it's about how you guys can trade it yourself. So one of the things that I noticed on this chart is if we use a trend line, right? If we use this trend line here, guys, what you want to see is it get above this resistance and then hold, because there is going to run into resistance here around 17, and the real key is can we get up to this 18. We need that big volume. We got a good volume day yesterday, about 20 million shares traded compared to, let's say, the average around 6 million. So you're talking about potentially 2 times, 3 times the volume coming into the stock. Those are some of the things that you can see. Of course, we're seeing the same kind of momentum in Ride. Ride is also getting that boost from that Biden boost here. And one of the things that you can pay attention to is when you see these big pops, see if it recovers from the support and gets another big pop. That shows significance yesterday, that there's a lot of volume in between these levels. So volume profile being put in between these levels, and you're seeing it today push on up. It could potentially rip out through this 32. One of the things that I'm watching for in this one is the one that I got into yesterday, guys, and that's Helion. So I'll definitely pull up this chart, guys. I'm in this one, full disclosure, and Chris is in this one too. I'm not sure exactly where Chris is in average that, but I'm in this one at 1775, guys. Really close. If you look at it, I'm like right around here, but at the end of the day, I'm looking for this one to get above 20. If we can get above 20 and hold, it looks like we could probably push up through this kind of right here, the shadow spot. That's what I'm looking for, because I think right there it can get some momentum, maybe get up to that 24, and I could look to sell into that 24 and then that 28. Okay, guys, so let's see what else we have here on the watch list that's moving. QS, guys, getting a little bit of catching a bid here near that 50. One of the things that we talked about on this one was can it find another bottom? So it had one bottom here, 2 bottoms here. It's looking like it's trying to solidify this $50, guys. But what do you need to see is a volume spike get above 50. So let's see how it's trading on the day here. Let's use a 15-minute chart, see how it spiked here. And then what you want to see is can it close above this 50 today. If it can close above that 50 today, then you'll have these multiple bottoms to go off of. This 46 price point, I see it multiple times here. So that's kind of the approach that I would look at in QS. Let's see what else we got moving here. Chris, any of them pointing out to you?
Yeah, so a couple that I've been watching for a while, following today, we have Romeo Power, RMO. Looks like we're back below 19 here.
Yeah, this is one I was looking at this morning, guys. Let's take a look here.
Are just over 19 now, but this is one, that I've been looking at under 20 for a while. Again, guys, today, right across the board, some buying opportunities. Again, if you believe in the long-term stories, know your risk, in these names. But today could be a good buying opportunity in some of these SPACs and former SPACs that you haven't really had that chance. Another one, Mitch, is LGVW. So Longview, of course, merging with Butterfly Network, portable ultrasound company, has not completed that merger yet, but they did announce the vote date. And shares are down today. This is one I've liked for a while, backed by Bill Gates, and they're really pushing forward with that technology. So pay attention, to this one as well, dropping.
All right, guys, just taking a second there, seeing the overall market take a dip here. Let's go back to the overall market, see what's going on, see if we're gonna break this 378 that we just talked about, right? So one of the things that I've been pulling and showing you guys is the 5-minute look, right? So the 5-minute look here, this is where we were when we started the show. What I mentioned was, hey, are we gonna hold this 378? Look how we bounce off of that. Let's see if we hold that 378. That's going to be my line in the sand for certain positions. I had positions today that went all the way up to about 12% up. So essentially, I had a position that was up about 30% and that wasn't able to cover. And this is a lesson, guys. And one of the things that I can tell you guys is know your plan and stick to the plan. One of the things that I've been trying to do, guys, is with my portfolio is I've been attacking above 28%, near that 30 mark, and then above that, that's kind of just like I would call them icing on the cake. So one of the things that you can do is sometimes you can put your order out there and just maybe possibly it just hits, especially if you notice that you're starting to get into the green. I did this with OSTK the other day and I was able to nail it in after hours. And today I would have been able to close a position if I would have had the order out there at the reward spot. It's not like I would have not taken my reward. So that this is one thing to let you guys know so that maybe we can learn from this for maybe another time to also get your reward that you're looking for out there.
Mitch,
All right, guys,
I've got two more here for you.
let's do it.
I
What we
just
got?
I was just looking at MP. If you want to pull up MP materials, take a look at that 1-month chart. Shares are now only down about 2%, but if you look at that 1-month chart, we actually touched 28.20 this morning, which looks like it was, right there on the 1-month low. Earlier this morning. So, this is one we haven't had a ton of buying opportunities lately, under 30. So keep an eye on this one. Of course, rare earth mining being a big story for electric vehicles going forward. And also, China talking about limiting the exports of rare earth minerals, which could impact a company like this tremendously. Then the other one I saw someone drop in the chat was Ajax, AJAX. Looks like this one is now below 1150. Could be a good buying opportunity today, again, with that huge management team, former founders, Instagram, Square, Chipotle, and 23andMe. This one shot up and was trading at a very high valuation for pre-deal. And now you have it, looking like it's down at its lows. So this could be a good buying opportunity. Again, if you believe in the management team getting a good deal done here. I've been watching Ajax for a while. This is probably the one that I'm looking at the most today, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. This chart shows it all. This is like kind of a monthly chart here, guys, but that's actually a weekly chart here. But you can see that bottoming that Chris is talking about and how this gives you potential to get in at better than all the people that got in up here. And this is what I always talk about. Sometimes even just getting at a better pricing, setting a tight stop maybe down here to 1130s, you can maybe get in somewhere near this 1140s, risk down towards that 1130s, and potentially see it right back up there at 1280s. So this is how we approach these. At the end of the day, you guys do your own risk assessment, but these are potentials, and they give you opportunities to measure risk off support versus, hey, I'm getting in at the top and support is like $1 down or something like that, so that if it does go back to support, then you look at yourself and you're like, man, I'm down about like 10% on this. What do I do? And that's the question that you don't want to catch yourself in. So be the man with the plan and the attack plans will help you get around this. All right, guys, want to talk about one that I'm in right now. Just got filled today, so might as well just bring it up. That's the SEAH one. I've been seeing this one kind of come up, down, up, down, up, down. It got all the way up there to 1080s, and I was able to fill in today at 1028, guys. Patience is a virtue, guys. So one of the things is I saw this resistance right here at this 25 area, and I feel like it's going to bounce off this 25 area, maybe come down to 1020s, but I don't see it too much underneath that, giving me the ability to that when this one is announced, I could potentially make a good gain there. Another one that I'm in, SPNV. This is one that's coming down towards $11 today. Full disclosure, I am in SPNV, and I'm actually in this one. And hold on, chart's not correct on this one. Let me fix this. All right, there you go. All right, so one of the things is I got in this one and I got stuck on this one on this day that it popped up. I actually got filled in at 1140. So then I averaged down a little bit, got in towards 1135s, and now I'm kind of stuck. It's near that 11 price point, and I'm looking to where I can add. But at the end of the day, this one hasn't had any kind of rumors, and I think why it came down was because there was rumors of BuzzFeed with SPNV, and we saw that the other one purchased this one. So I'll keep an eye on this one. Let's see what's out there in the chat, see if there's any specific ones being mentioned a ton of times. I see TTCF. I know that one's probably moving with sympathy off of kind of the Beyond Meat announcement. Did you hear about that, Chris?
Yeah, it looks like had a move yesterday on that Beyond Meat news. This is one again that plant-based food trade I think is going to be big. Obviously, Beyond Meat landed that huge deal with PepsiCo. But Tattooed Chef has some strong deals in place. And they're in Target, Walmart, Costco, and this is one I'll be keeping an eye on throughout 2021.
All right, guys. So one of the things that I wanted to touch on, and I'm trying to find the comment in the chat. If this was you, go ahead and put it back up. But one of the things that you can see on this chart, right, is kind of how this happens, guys. That this was, and I don't even know for sure 100%, but I'm just going to go off of what I see, right? So this chart tells me that this was the merger date. And was that the merger date, Chris?
Yeah, that looks right.
Am I correct? All right. Well, and what happens, guys? What is the wave that we usually see after the merger? We see down moves, right? And so this is why we always talk about the waves and SPACs, so that you don't get caught on let me buy on merger day, and that's the best probability. No, the patterns will tell you that that's probably not going to be the best probability. But this one had the next wave, the wave that I call the evaluation wave, because it came down towards these levels, and eventually people saw these multiple bottoms near the 16 and said, you know what, I'll take it here at 17 and risk down towards the 16. And I think that we finally found some pricing that matches more the fundamental outlook, and then you saw this one start bouncing back. One of the ones that keeps getting mentioned is that UWMC.
Yep, UWMC.
And this is one that we mentioned on here, guys. We said be careful, because after merger, this is what we see. This is common, So one of the things that I'll tell you about UWMC is, will we get the next wave? And one of the things that you can do is use the support that you can get from, let's say, a weekly chart. And so, here you can clearly see this one did kind of an up, down, up, down, up. And what do we need, guys? After that third up, some volume. That was that spike you got there, guys. And so what's the next thing is, can we come back down towards these levels where everyone piled in on this 7th of December and hold that level? Maybe get a little sideways action there at, like, let's say 10.30s to $10. And if you can get that sideways action there, eventually you should maybe see some bottoming action that could get you right back in this one and have you an ability to measure down risk near this $10. Just to give some insight, I know I saw a lot of people mention that in the comments. A lot of people were worried about this stock. What happened? Full disclosure, I'm in the one that's kind of similar to this one, and hasn't been doing much either. This is RPLA, Finance of America. I'm in this one at 1030s. But I saw this one spike the other day towards 11, and I was thinking, yeah, there it goes, baby, there he goes. Nope, right back down to support. And so this is why you always got to get near that support buy so that you don't get caught too extended and then come to us on SPAC's attack telling us, what happened, man? I got in at the top. What happened? And this is what we do this for, you guys. At the end of the day, the reason Chris and I do this is because we want you guys to get wealth and get the experience that you guys need to trade these SPACs. All right, Chris, let's get into some of the good ones. CCIV, another binary event. That's what I call that. And when you have binary events, guess what can happen? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And the only people that know are the people doing the deal.
Right.
So let's go ahead and let's get into some of the SPACs that Chris wants to get into, which are the 10 kind of new SPACs to add to your watch list. Of course, guys, we have so many SPACs now. I think it's over like 337 SPACs. So you have to do your research. So this is why we go into SPACs Unlock. Let's go ahead, Chris, unlock those SPACs.
All right, guys. Yeah, so we did a show not too long ago talking about some newer SPACs to watch. And that was a well-received show. And one of the things we want to do here is bring some of these names to your attention, either before others get into them or before they go public, so you can keep an eye out. So I have 10 names today that we're going to talk about. 5 of them are currently trading as units, and then 5 of them have not yet traded. So, of course, units include the common share and the partial warrant. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Some can get these shares then at less than net asset value. As we're seeing, most warrants trade for around $2 or more, and premiums. I will note units cannot be purchased on some exchanges, including Robinhood and Webull. So it depends on what you have for an exchange, whether or not you can get into these units. Otherwise, keep an eye for when they split and common shares and warrants are available. So up first in those units that I want to talk about, we have symbol LEGOU. This is Legato Merger. So they are targeting the renewable, infrastructure, and energy segments. So it's definitely worth noting the team behind this SPAC completed several deals years ago. So before the SPAC boom. And most of those deals have turned out, negative, where those shares are now trading under $10. But for anyone who's followed the SPAC market or gone back and looked, we know that today is a different time than it was before. So even the Eagle team that brought DraftKings and Skills public had a couple mergers years ago that now trade under $10. So the thing I like most about this unit is it actually includes a whole warrant. So nowadays you're seeing these groups bring their second or third SPAC deals public, and they drop the amount. So say that first one offered 1/3 of a warrant, their next one offers 1/5, and some groups are even getting down to 1/8 of a warrant or no warrant at all. And here you have a group looking for possible redemption, offering a full warrant with shares. So if you buy units, you're going to get a common share and a warrant. And as we know, warrants trade for around $2 right now across the board. So you're actually looking at getting a common share that's going to be $10 and a warrant that could possibly be $2. So you've got $12 value, and you have these units trading, 10, 20. So full disclosure, I am long shares of LEGO. I think this is one of the greatest values out there as far as looking at net asset value. So of course there's the risk that the team has had some bad deals, but if you talk about that $10 price point and the free warrant, I think this is a good risk reward situation. And then up next we have NSTBU. So this is Northern Star 2. This is one we talked about on the show before. It's including 1/5 of a warrant with those units targeting beauty, wellness, and e-commerce. So it's the former editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan and Joanna Coles. Their first deal for Northern Star One is bringing Bark, parent company of BarkBox, public. That was a well-received deal, and it was rather fast-moving as the deal was done when Northern Star One was still trading as units. So I think for some of these private companies looking to get a deal done fast, why not turn to the company that completed the fastest SPAC deal out there? If you're in that industry. So this is one I'm definitely watching. We're right around the $10.50 range right now. So this is one to put on your radar. Again, those units currently trading. Up next, we have Science Strategic Acquisition, SSAAU. So those include 1/3 of a warrant targeting direct-to-consumer or mobile and social entertainment. So Michael Jones, the former CEO of MySpace, is behind this SPAC. I like those industries that they're targeting. Again, mobile apps, social, gaming, all that stuff has been hot and high growth. I think they land a good deal here, and this is one I'm definitely watching. Another one we talked about before was Bright
Hey
Light.
Chris,
Go ahead.
just want to jump in there, not to interrupt all the great knowledge you're giving out there right now, but we are getting a stock that's moving and ripping right now. We get VGAC starting to rip here, guys. So thank you, the chat. That's what we're here for, guys. At the end of the day, we're not here for ourselves. Let's take a look here. I think it got halted right now. So let's take a look. Look at this rip. This is why you got to buy off support, guys. Look, I can go back and show you guys it. Let's use a 15-minute interval. Look how this one ripped out from the 19th.
Hey, Mitch, I've got the rumor here.
There you go. There you go.
So
this is what we have.
23andMe, the DNA testing company, in genomics field and stuff. 23andMe, it looks like it's the rumor with Virgin back right here, is what I'm seeing come across. Bloomberg Terminal reporting that. So 23andMe, again, one of the larger private companies out there. I think Google owns a stake in them. So DNA genetic testing and analysis. So this one ripping higher, and based off that rumor, when this one comes out of the halt, who knows what this one's gonna hit.
Yeah, guys. One of the things is you gotta see it. It halted right there at. We have the time right here. We have 11:34:15. So it's usually probably going to be a 5-minute halt. Sometimes you get a 10-minute halt. Just to give you guys some ideas. So think about 11:39. 15. See if it opens up there, and we'll take a look here as it opens up. It's always fun to watch these as they opened up. Full disclosure, guys, be careful with this. It's already pushed up from about 1460 to 1607. And one of the things that happens when you get an opening of kind of this trading halt is that you get a whole bunch of volume that people put out orders to just sit there. And so you got to be careful here. This is definitely kind of more of a momentum trade now. So definitely want everyone to be careful. I'll keep an eye on it. We'll see if it opens up here at 11:39. Any other one you want to really quickly run through, Chris, and then we'll come back to this one at 11:39.
No, I mean it's always nice to get some of these rumors and deals live on the show. So keep an eye out on this one. Yeah, go ahead and interrupt me again. Mitch, when this thing gets unhalted, because I'm curious here. And, again, have to note, guys, pay attention to net asset value. VGAC was one we talked about on one of our very first shows when it was trading under 10.50 a share. So keep an eye out for some of these. So turning back to some of those new SPACs here, we have Bright Lights Acquisition, BLTSU. So that includes half of a warrant. This one is targeting consumer media, entertainment, and sports. It has the singer Sierra, also has Peter Guber, who's the chair and CEO of Mandalay Entertainment, and was the former CEO of Sony Pictures. So strong interest there in movies and music. I like that management team, and I love the fact that it's a half of a warrant. So keep an eye out on this one. And then we have Class Acceleration, CLASU, trading as units now. Those also include half of a warrant. So Michael Moe is the founder of this SPAC. He is the co-founder of GSV, which is now Suro Capital, symbol SSSS.
All
That's a
right.
company that took stakes in. Are we out of halt?
Yeah, we're out of the halt there. And first move was down first, guys. This is what I talk about that people put in orders prior. So a lot of people what they'll do is they'll put an order out near, let's say, a half dollar, like here, like 15.50 or 15, which is that whole dollar. And what they're trying to do is get an extreme dip buy and then sell immediately through that 16. So you got to be careful here, guys. This is definitely kind of day trading. This is kind of what I used to do, guys. So I kind of know about trading these halts, but you got to be careful. You know, I will remind plenty of you guys, if you're not, you know, catching this, you got to be careful. And it, you see how it's holding near that 1550 mark. Those are people attacking kind of some support area here. So let's go ahead and let me put up the ticker that it is, because it's not that one. So let's take a look at this. Let's see if it can hold here and get a rip back through that 16. So one of the things is to mention is that this was the one that, you know, when I first saw it, Chris, I don't know about you, but definitely the board got me interested, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, hey, my man from Virgin hasn't struggled much in his life. What do you think about this kind of at first when you first heard of the stock?
Yeah, you think of Virgin Group, you have, Virgin Galactic Space, you have Virgin Airlines, airline company, you have Virgin Music, Richard Branson, one of the richest guys out there, one of the smartest investors out there. This one definitely got me excited. I'll be keeping an eye on this one after the show. I really thought, we would see that immediate jump, but now it looks like it's falling. Again, this is just a rumor out from Bloomberg. So I haven't that valuation puts 23andMe at. Again, that's an important thing to consider is, what's the rumored valuation of this SPAC deal? Are they overpaying for 23andMe? So that's worth watching too. We'll, of course, talk about that on the show tomorrow when we get more details. But yeah, keep an eye on this one coming out of that halt, again, with 23andMe as the possible target.
Yeah, definitely, guys. This is why I wanted to tell you guys to be careful because, hey, I've actually been the one caught here, guys. I remember one time I bought into a whole dollar rip breakout. I got into a stock that I got filled. I wanted to get filled somewhere near the 16. I ended up getting a fill near, like, let's say 1620s, and then the stock dropped 20, 30 cents, and I was left holding 1,000 shares and seeing 20, 30 cents just, and then next thing you know, it's down another dollar, and this is how you easily get the biggest loss of your life. I'm gonna let you know that right now, guys. So you got to be careful in these. You know, I don't think these are necessarily the ones that you want to kind of get in this momentum time. But let's say, hey, you know, we just talked about it. You know, if you got it back off support, you know, if you were looking off support, you could have seen this bounce here from this 13 and it bounced back up, right? So you got this one up, one down, two up, two down, three up. It looked like it wanted to rip here at 450, but it went all the way back towards that 13 support. Three down. What do you need now, guys? You just need volume, guys, to bring it back up to resistance and then keep it going. So now you're seeing a pullback towards what? Towards resistance, guys. Towards the prior resistance that can become the floor. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get back into a 1 minute here and see if it can find the floor here near 1440s, 1420s and get right back up there. All right, guys, want to go ahead and talk to the chat. You know, one of the things is we're all really about you guys in the chat. This is why we do this. So if you guys have a certain stock you guys wanted us to take a look at right now, we can take a quick look while VGAC is kind of building there. I'm seeing a lot of names, so definitely want to give a shout out to some of the people that are new in the chat. I'm seeing World Target, Danny. Oh, Everyday Papa in the house. We need a Papa. always got to have a papa. We got Julie in the house. We got Michael, Darren, Blockchain. We got Jeff, Lancelot. Oh, the one and only Lancelot. I love that name. Right there, we got Riz. We got Eric. Everybody smash that like, guys. If you guys are getting value from us going through these SPACs, definitely smash the like. All right, Chris, let's go ahead and let's go back into kind of what we were talking about here. I think we left off on CLASU, and I think we're now on FSNBU.
So CLASU, so just finishing up there. So GSV co-founder Michael Moe behind it. They're looking at ed tech, so education technology. And I will note, so Suro Capital, which he founded, owns stakes in Coursera and Course Hero, two privately held, ed tech plays that are rumored to be doing IPOs soon. So keep an eye out on CLASU here. And then turning to 5 new SPACs that are not currently trading. So if you have pen and paper ready, go ahead and jot these tickers down. Otherwise, save this video. These ones do not currently trade, but we'll be keeping an eye out on them. So we have Fusion Acquisition Corp 2. This is going to be FSNBU. $300 million deal with 1/3 of a warrant. It's the same team as FUSE, which has been a SPAC trading at a premium. This one is targeting fintech. I love the management team here, and fintech, of course, has been a hot area of focus. Then up next, we have Kensington Capital 2, $200 million deal, 1/4 of a warrant. If Kensington Capital sounds familiar, they, of course, did the Quantum SPAC, which was a stock that traded over $100, the best performing SPAC, of last year. They're targeting the automotive sector, looking at a market, emerging technology, or an OEM company in that sector. Keep an eye out on this one because, again, the hottest SPAC of last year. People are going to be looking at this management team, to get a deal done. Then we have Music Acquisition. This will be TMACU. It includes a 1/2 of a warrant. Neil Jacobson is the chairman here. He's got over 20 years experience in the music industry, including being at Interscope Geffen. He was part of the management team of will.i.am and also Robin Thicke. So keep an eye out, for whatever target he finds in the music industry. Then we have Leo Holdings 3, no current symbol out. This will be a $200 million deal with 1/4 of a warrant. The management team here has experience all over the board. It includes New Skin Enterprises, Open Realty, the Asian division of Coca-Cola, Foods, Heineken, Prudential, and then also the co-founder of Sun Microsystems, Scott McNeely. Sun Microsystems, of course, bought out. That's one, worth watching with that man. And then the last one, we have Power and Digital Infrastructure. This will be XPDIU, $250 million deal with a 1/2 of a warrant, targeting electric grid transition, the supply and demand side. I will note that this SPAC actually mentioned blockchain infrastructure, in their prospectus, and they also, their parent company XMS Capital has advised on several deals, including recently working with Riot Blockchain on adding more Bitcoin miners. So there's some interest, of course, in cryptocurrency and blockchain there. So this is one worth watching too. So I know we kind of split that up with the breaking news, but those are the 10 new SPACs that I'm looking at. 5 trading as units, 5 not currently trading. Go ahead and go back and watch the video. Otherwise, we'll have a clip out later breaking down those 10. But those are the ones I'm watching, Mitch.
Hey guys, I even got excited there. I want to show you guys something. I even got my platform out. I was about to maybe take a trade on this one, but a little too fast moving to be trading here. Not really the style I wanted to represent in SPACs, so I held off. But hey, like always, guys, the FOMO is real. So That's what I would remind guys. The fear of missing out is not it's not a joke, guys. And one of the things that I try to remind myself is if I wanted a stock and then let's say 2 days later the stock goes and rips, I've taught myself as a self rule that hey, you had the right idea, you didn't execute, and if you don't execute, a lot of the times, if you go and then try to force execution later, this is when you get yourself in that world of pain. So one of the things that I do, and this is a personal opinion, is that if I miss a trade, I just stop watching it. Just that ticker is off. The rules say I cannot trade that one again. Just like I want to trade FSR today, guys. A little part of me wants to get back into FSR, but hey, what am I gonna do? When you get beat, you get beat, and you got to admit your losses. So now we're seeing this 5-minute pullback come down. It went down all the way to about let's see the low here. We got a 1351. And where I was getting a little excited was this $14 pricing point because at least I had something now to go off of, right? That 1352 could be something I can go off of, and then at least have a risk to reward outlook. Like, hey, I'm gonna risk about 50 cents down to potentially get maybe let's say $2 back up. And that's where the 16's at, right? And so that's a 2-to-1 look, which gives you a potential to make that money. At the end of the day, that's what we're here for, guys. We're trying to build that wealth. So that's how I would approach this. Chris, anything else coming out with that 21? It was from Bloomberg, right?
Yeah, that was from Bloomberg. That's all I see now. It looks like $4 billion is the valuation put on 23andMe right now. Again, I'll be trying to follow this story throughout the day because VGAC, of course, has gotten strong interest with that Virgin Group backing. So keep an eye on that one. And yeah.
All right, we got a question here in the chat. What was the Kensington ticker that you mentioned?
Yep. So KCACU is going to be the ticker. Kensington Capital 2, the same group that did QuantumScape. I believe that's actually the same ticker that they used for QuantumScape, but again, QuantumScape now trades as QS. So companies are allowed to use the ticker that they previously used. So as long as the ticker's not current.
All right, guys. So let's get into 1 second. Before we get on out of here, I want to at least touch one or two from the chat specifically. So if you got another one that you guys want us to take a look at really quickly, let's get some tickets in the chat. We got about 2 or 3 minutes left here that we can hold off to. So staying a little extra. So if you guys could support us by sharing the show after, that would really help us. At the end of the day, we're trying to keep growing, guys. So if you guys can go ahead and hit that share button that's right below the YouTube and put this up on Twitter, letting everyone know where they can get this SPAC coverage. Let's go ahead and see what we see in the chat. I'm seeing mention of that ZNTE one. I know that one had rumors. What ended up happening there, Chris? Anything get confirmed or anything?
Yeah, so ZNTE still looking for a target. Again, they're linked to Aerospace, Joby Aviation, and Lilium. I own shares of ZNTE. This is one with a 6-month deadline. So, they're going to be working on pushing through a deal. So keep an eye on this one. I think they land a strong name in that aero field.
All right, going to keep going through here. Seeing one that I haven't seen mentioned consistently. Let's get into this one. BTNB by Thomas T. BTNB. I don't even know this one, do I?
BTNB.
It's that
Bridgetown. Bridgetown
Bridge.
Holdings 2. So this was a big mover yesterday. I think I mentioned it in the movers. Again, this has Peter Thiel, big investing name, backer of Facebook in the early days and PayPal. The first Bridgetown traded at a heavy premium and again linked to bringing Tokopedia public. So, of course, no surprise that this second SPAC from Bridgetown had strong interest yesterday. So it's one I'll be watching. I will note the second SPAC did not include warrants and it didn't even trade as units. It just went straight to common shares. which is rather unique with SPACs. So that's probably the reason for such a premium right out the gate here.
All right, and one more that I don't think I've seen in our chat, and we definitely like to give shout outs to the new people watching. That's what we're here for, guys, at the end of the day. So let's get into this one. WPF. WPF mentioned by Jay. Jay, if you're out there, I appreciate you bringing this up. Let's go ahead and run through WPF here. Seen the pullback here on this. Anything you seeing here?
Oh, so this is PaySafe, that deal. This one has dropped quite a bit, from that deal announcement. As you can see the top there, in the 15s. PaySafe, they back so many companies providing digital payments for, Fortnite, Roblox, sports betting. When I get into that Kathy Wood presentation, as I mentioned, one of the things she talked about was digital payments. I want to see if there's mentions, of this company in there, because then you could be potentially looking at her adding it, to those ARC funds going forward. So that's something worth noting as well, but definitely following this PaySafe story, especially on this dip here.
Yeah, guys. So one thing I definitely see here, guys, is that you're coming down towards this daily support, right? And you got that turnaround from 1450, so you have to let it test there a couple times. You see it coming, actually testing today, coming down there towards 1095, bouncing immediately off of that. So you got to see, hey, can we get multiple holds there? Can we get some volume to come in here? Because really, I mean, the turnaround sell here was about 26 million shares. Now you're talking only 2.5 million shares traded. You need to see kind of a little bit more shares to show you that the bulls are rebuying in there and trying to get this one right back up. All right, guys, that's probably going to do it for us today. I know it's been busy. I know we've been all over the place a little bit today, but one of the things is we want to do this show for you guys out there so that sometimes, hey, you guys can drive the ship also. I have no problem with that. I don't think Chris has a problem with that here. At the end of the day, we do this so that you guys in the long run hopefully can build wealth for your families. I know that Chris and I work hard every single day to bring you as much information as we can. I hope you guys appreciated the interview that we had yesterday. If you didn't catch it, I mean, hey, let's take a look at the stock right quick and see how it's doing. That was CIIC, which was also a tricky one because if you look here at the top, you'll see CIIG merger, and it's a little bit of a trick name there. But one of the things I'm seeing is this buildup of support here at 26. So it's going to be very vital, guys, to hold that 26. We broke through it here on the 25th. We're holding it here on the 27th. We're holding it here on the 5th of January. We're holding it here on the 16th. Let's see if we can hold it there. That's 3 holds. What do you need after that 3 holds, guys? 3 holds of support. You need volume to drive it back to resistance. So let's see if we can get a nice volume spike, maybe above 28, and it can come make its way back up there to 34s. Like always, guys, we're going to keep bringing more experts and executives out there. We have a little sneak preview of what's coming on later in the week. You want to tease them a little bit, Chris?
Yeah, so one of the topics we talked about for looking forward was cannabis SPACs. So we talked, of course, to the CEO, bringing that supernova deal, and on Friday this week we will have Clever Leaves, the CEO of that company. So that is ticker CLVR. This is a completed SPAC deal, currently trading under $10. We're going to dive into what this company has in store for international markets, and then also for cannabis in the U.S. Going forward. So keep an eye out for that interview on Friday, and then our calendar is starting to fill up with more and more CEO interviews over the next couple weeks. So again, we're trying to bring you guys, the CEOs, the due diligence, the news, the information, so you can make the trades. Pay attention to your own risk, and definitely smash that like if you have not. I see 127 likes, and I know we have more people in here than that. And I brought you 10 great new ideas. So smash that like, share this video. Let's keep growing this show, so we can bring information on SPACs to more and more people.
All right, guys. Looks like, hey, Definitely seeing the love out there. So definitely, guys, let us know if you like the show. Leave us some comments. Let us know in the chat. This is what it's all about, guys. At the end of the day, it's about you guys out there. We're going to keep working hard to keep building our skills. And like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, hey, for all the people out there, keep that constant quest to be the best. To be the best of oneself. Keep working hard, guys. Shout out to Kobe. We'll see you guys next time on the SPACs Attack.